Here's Tart.
Meet little Melvin. He's a 90-pound weakling. Everyone hated Melvin. Okay. Until he had a horrifying accident and fell into a vat of nuclear waste, transforming little Melvin into a hideously deformed creature of superhuman size and strength. Melvin became the Toxic Avenger. Okay.
Hello YouTube, Ultra Maximus back with another toy review. Today we're taking a look at another Marvel Legends figure, and it's Toxin from the Spider-Man Build-A-Goblin wave. And yeah, this is part of the Spawn of the Symbiotes switch-out set. One came with Carnage, which I do have, and I really like the figure, and then this was the alternate figure. And I've seen this figure one time in the store and passed on it. I just didn't really I don't know. I looked at it briefly and put it right back down. The only reason I got to this figure is because it was $4.80 on an Amazon sale. So I figured, why not? It bumped up my purchase past $35 and gave me free shipping. So here he is. If you don't know who this character is, it is the spawn of Carnage. So this is the grandchild of Venom, I guess. And Carnage was actually going to kill the symbiote. He didn't want it going and living, and he thought it could be more powerful than him, and didn't want him to come after him, all that kind of good stuff. So he was going to kill him, ended up not. The symbiote ended up bonding to a police officer, and they went around and started being a hero-ish, an anti-hero kind of thing. And that suit, actually, I think I might have preferred a little bit more than this particular suit. It was kind of a dark blue or black that went up into the red, and he had a different set of eyes. This version is the Eddie Brock version. So after that police officer character got killed, the symbiote ended up going to Venom, and I think this is after Anti-Venom. Eddie Brock gets a hold of the suit, and he actually has a black Venom spider on it for a little while. So, but this is what this is supposed to be based on, and I think I would have rather had it have the black spider on it, because as it is, it's a little bit bland, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figure and start off with the packaging. So here we have Toxin in the package. Once again, it is the same kind of package we have been getting for a few years now on this figure set. It's got the Build-A-Figure up in the corner. It says Spider-Man, Marvel Legends, Spawn of the Symbiotes down on the bottom. On this side, we get a picture of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, another picture of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, nothing on the bottom. We get a little Spider-Man logo up there at the top. Here is the back of the package. It is the same exact package that we got with Carnage. We've got a picture of Carnage here. Here's Toxin. We have a write-up of the Spawn of the Symbiotes. All the other figures in this wave, which I have one of. Yeah, I think just the one figure, which is the Spider-Girl. Well, no, I got the Carnage, so too. And then we get the Build-A-Figure Goblin down there. So here's a close-up of all the other figures in this wave. There's the Goblin you can build. Here's the Carnage and the Toxin figures, looking kind of interesting. And then here's a write-up. If you want to pause and read that, you are more than welcome to. So that's about it for the package. Let's go ahead and get this guy out of box and see what we think. So here we have Toxin out of the package, and this is a very weird little figure. There are things I like about this figure, and there are things I don't like about this figure. Overall, I mean, it is a solid figure. I mean, it's pretty substantial. It's obviously not the same mold that we got with the Carnage figure. This is actually the same exact body mold that we end up getting with Anti-Venom later down the line. The arms are everything I think is pretty much exactly the same except for the head sculpt. They put a new head sculpt on it and repainted it, and this is Anti-Venom. So, which makes sense, kind of. I mean, they are both Eddie Brock figures, which is kind of funny. How many symbiotes does Eddie Brock get? He's kind of a symbiote whore, really. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's well painted. I will give it that. We'll talk about that here in a second. He does come with the Goblin Build-A-Figure parts. There's the little Goblin head. This is the second one I have. And then he's got these little flame effects. And I can't remember if Carnage came with these flame effects or not. I want to say he came with a sword, but I don't think that's right. I think they probably came with the same pieces. If you know, please put a comment down below. I can't remember, and I don't want to go back and look at the video. So here he is. I mean, it's a stable figure. It stands well. It's very odd in color. It's relatively accurate to what we get in the comics. And it does have some nice paint sculpts. As far as articulation goes, this thing is exactly the same as the Anti-Venom figure. So if you've got that figure, then it's pretty much the same. He does have a ball joint on his head, but it doesn't seem like it has all that great articulation. It does move up, but it only goes that far up. So it's not really all that great. He's got this huge chin. He does have the ball joints at his shoulders. He's got swivels at his bicep. He has double jointed elbows. He's got the joints at the wrists here. He's got an ab crunch that works pretty good. He's got a swivel at the waist, a swivel at the thighs there, double jointed knees, and then he does have ankle joints. So looking at the figure a little bit closer, he does have the same exact tendrils that Carnage had, which is a little unfortunate. I would have liked that to be a little different. The paint is very well done. That head sculpt is pretty cool looking, even though his teeth kind of looks like a demonic gerbil or something. I like the black around the eyes and the yellow paint picks, although I think I do prefer the original incarnation of Toxin over this one. But I mean, overall, I like the shading, how it goes from this kind of dark maroon color and fades up into a very glossy kind of cherry red. I mean, that looks good. I mean, it's very well painted and very well detailed. Looking at a mid-shot view of the figure, of course, the arms are exactly the same as what we get with Anti-Venom down the road. Same exact claws, same exact elbows. We just have it in a different color. Yeah, I mean, overall, pretty decent. I like how the red fades down, especially around the back here. We got some real nice shadowing and the muscles down to his little toxic butt there, looking pretty cool. And then, you know, it kind of goes around. The arms are painted really, really well, like that fade that goes through there. And then the front part of the chest looks really, really nice with that glossy red. Although I think I would have liked a little bit more fade out down around the waist. And just the final shot of the bottom of the figure, it is very bland. It's all kind of that dark maroon color all the way down to his boots. And yeah, I mean, again, the boots, I don't really particularly care for the way they look. However, that is comic accurate. That is the way Eddie Brock looked in the comic book as this figure. It just, I don't know, there's so much detail and sharpness at the top of the figure that the boots just lose translation, I think, in a 3D figure model. For comparison, here we have Toxin with the pizza-eating Spider-Man, and he is considerably larger than Spidey, and, you know, that makes sense. It's Eddie Brock. He's supposed to be bigger than Spider-Man, and the paint differences are so dramatic in the style of paint that this Toxin figure has over Spidey, and I don't know, I do like the glossy to non-gloss look, but it looks very strange next to Spider-Man. And here we have Toxin next to his wave mate, the other symbiote, Carnage. So here is Carnage and Sun together, and yeah, very, very, very different figures for sure. I mean, they don't even have anything alike. They don't have the same color patterns, the same type of paint. Carnage is a complete flat paint job, where this guy's got that super high gloss paint on him. The only thing that is the same is the tendrils on the back of the figure, and I wish he had some more tendrils like Carnage has going on. And here we have Toxin next to the Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider. Here's Toxin next to the Walgreens exclusive Black Ant-Man. And finally, here's the comparison that everybody wants to see, Toxin versus Anti-Venom. So these are both Eddie Brock symbiote suits, and looking at them, I mean, they are obviously the same figure. In fact, looking at the head sculpts, I would say that this is a retooled version of that head sculpt, because they both have that really low open jaw. Looks like they just redid the teeth, redid the face, they added some spikes on here. So I'm guessing this is the same base mold that came from this head. They just did a lot more detail on it. The arms are exactly the same on these guys when you go to look at them. They've got the same exact points and structures. They're just painted differently. Same boots, same body structure. This one just has the small little tendrils on the back of him where he's ripping off the Carnage tendrils there. So yeah, definitely interesting to see the two together. Of these two figures, to be honest, I like this one a lot better. I think this one's just missing something. It's just so bland. If they would have put the black spider like we have here on that figure, I think it would have helped that. Of course, the black spider here on the comics that we've seen was basically the exact same Venom, classic Venom spider, just in black. And again, I think that would have helped this guy out tremendously. So is Toxin a figure that you want in your Marvel Legends collection? That's a really good question. If you can find this guy pretty cheap, it's an okay figure. This is not my favorite figure that I've picked up in the Legends waves. Again, the only reason I got this because it was $4.80 on Amazon and got me free shipping. And, you know, I figured, hey, review fodder. I mean, it's a decent figure. I mean, it would make probably a pretty good customizable figure. You could probably use it and build something else out of it. My biggest drawback, I think, on the figure is the lack of the big black spider on the front. I think that would have helped this thing out immensely. I'd also like to see a version of Toxin that had the original paint scheme, with the black at the bottom going up into the red. I think that looked a lot cooler than this one did, especially without the black Venom spider. I think that really is a miss on the figure. But if you are a symbiote completist, you definitely want to get this figure just to have all the symbiotes in your collection. If you're an Eddie Brock fan or Venom fan, you're going to like this figure, I think. But the Fairweather fan, I mean, this figure's too hard to find to begin with. Don't overpay. I would not pay more than retail on this figure. And, you know, I mean, it is what it is. It's Toxin. So there he is, Toxin from the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Build-A-Figure set. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share. And as always, look for more videos in the future.